Hi everyone. It's been a while since the last time I talked about third file Rook, and to keep everybody up to date, I want to talk about it again. And I like third file Rook as well. And it starts by Bishop 2-3-3, and we're gonna discuss how you deal with it when White tries to go straight to the Anaguma castle, leaving building offensive structure behind and tries to do that later. Since he tries to keep his structure as flat as possible, you can take advantage of it. As always, you can develop these generals first. As you can see, he's trying to castle first. Since these pawns have not yet to be pushed, you can develop your own. And this is a good idea. And he usually tries to push the edge pawn in order to prevent your bishop from coming forward. So when Black's bishop drops back for rook development, then White can develop his own rook as well to protect this square. Oh, by the way, it's also possible for White to push this pawn to protect this square by advancing this silver like this. And this pawn push might be scary for some players, but it's okay. Rook to 7-6 is a good move. He would take this pawn, but silver recaptures. When he drops a pawn to 6-5 to kick your silver, you can just calmly take this pawn. Of course, he would promote his bishop to 9-9, but then you can offer bishop exchange. He would accept it, then knight recaptures. You just lost one lance, but he has no pawns in hand, right? And next pawn push to 7-4 and bishop to 5-5 are a great move for Black. So Black is in a better shape. So you shouldn't be afraid of this pawn push. And going back to this position, and he would push this edge pawn. Then bishop drops back. Rook to 8-4 and rook to 7-6, and he's gonna castle. The move orders around this position are arbitrarily, so you don't have to super focus on the detail. Of course, in this position you can jump this knight to 7-7, of course. And in this case you can complete the castle first. Then knight to 7-7. As you can see, White tries to avoid early conflict between pawns, so he wants to build his castle first, avoiding early conflict. Then bishop to 4-8 is a good idea. It's indirectly looking at his rook. then you can push these pawns later. Then pawn to 5-6 is a good move. Some people might wonder, what about bishop to 2-4, threatening bishop promotion on 7-9, but it's okay because you can push this pawn to 7-4. Since his defense is not complete, he cannot actually accept the rook exchange, so he would take this pawn by this pawn. Then you can open up this diagonal. He has to move back. Rook to 7-4. If he drops a pawn, then you can open a rook exchange. This time he can't reject it, and once it happens, black is in a better position because his defense is better. His silver is loose and he has more empty squares in his camp for piece drop, so black is fine. Since his bishop is now on the different diagonal, this knight is safe as well. All the way back to this position. What if silver to 7-3? You can calmly move back, but not 6-7, to 7-5, threatening taking this pawn, but there is no way for white to defend it actually. If he plays knight to 9-3, he's gonna lose the silver, right? But if he develops this silver to 8-4, then you can promote your rook to 7-1. So he can't actually avoid it. And if he drops a pawn to 7-4, then you can take this pawn. This square is attacked by these major pieces, right? And also it's defended by these pieces, so this silver cannot move forward, so he has no choice but to accept this trade. Then knight recaptures, attacking this silver. He has to move back, but then you get to drop your rook first. So again, black is better. All the way back to this position. And what if he finally pushes this pawn so his silver can move forward? Here, if you push this pawn, it's not the best choice because silver to 5-3, then you would push this pawn, right? But then this time he can accept this rook trade. You know why, right? Because his bishop is still here, so he can take this knight next. And if it jumps to 8-5, then you're gonna lose this lance. So this pawn push was too soon, so black can do something else. Pawn to 4-6. This move avoids future bishop drop to 5-5. It's always scary for ranging rook, right? Because it's going to be looking at your king and these minor pieces as well. So it's good to avoid it preemptively. And also it's a good idea to avoid this diagonal by lance to 9-8. Slow game or not, it's a good waiting and defensive move for ranging rook. Then you can finally start attacking by not pawn to 6-5, but pawn to 7-4. He would take this by pawn, but if he tries to offer rook exchange, again it's going to be good for black. If successful, you can drop this knight to 4-5 to create forking. So white needs to avoid this variation, so he would take this by pawn. Then you can open up this diagonal. This time he can go to the side with his rook. Then you can push this pawn. Of course, he would take this right, because if you recapture, then he can promote his bishop to 7-7. But of course, it's according to plan. And before you take this pawn, you can play a really cool move, which is silver to 7-8. It's protecting this knight, so you will be able to take this pawn next. So you will be fine. What if he just ignores it and try to fight back by pawn to 6-4? Of course, he wants you to take this pawn so his silver can advance, right? So you can just ignore it. Then you can take this pawn instead. He would drop this pawn to annoy you, because again you can take it. So here you can also play silver to 7-8, pawn to 6-5. If you take it, he will promote this bishop to 8-8, so you can keep going. It's trapping his rook kind of, so it's a good move. Also, you're threatening to promote your rook, your pawn to 8-3. He would try to break through the edge, but it's not scary. You can take this pawn. Then he can try to complicate the situation by offering bishop trade, but this is a good timing for you to ignore it. Instead, you can promote this pawn to 8-3. After this bishop trade, this left gold can recapture the horse. You see, this silver is amazingly working, and there is no effective piece drop to attack this rook, as you can see. To create effective piece drop, this pawn drop will be masked. If you take it, then he can drop it to 8-8, so you can just ignore, and instead you can attack this rook by bishop to 8-5. It's completely trapped, so he can just keep moving. And what if he take this lance? Of course, you can take the rook. Lance recaptures, then you will be able to break through the 7th file. Even if he tries to save it by pawn push, you can calmly take it. Even if rook runs, that's okay, because this promotion is stronger. Now you may realize this gold is under the attack. These major pieces are cooperating with each other to attack this poor general. So he needs to run, but if he goes to 3-2, then you can use this promoted pawn. Next, promoted pawn to 6-3 is so strong. Even if he takes it, you can just recapture. Then this time this silver is under the attack. If he goes back to the similar position, he will just lose a tempo, so it's clearly good for black. And next move is virtually game-ending move, which is knight to 4-5. This silver is a pain. If he does nothing, you can promote your knight on 5-3, right? But white is already in huge trouble here, because even if he goes up to 4-2, you can calmly take the knight. This move is nothing. Then you can play the same move, right? And this time there is nothing to stop this promoted pawn, so you're winning. Even if he tries to resist, that's okay. You can drop a pawn to trap this rook, so you are winning anyway. Alright, that's gonna do for this video. I want to talk more about third file rook for slow games as long as double ranging rook, because it's cool. I hope it's been helpful for you, and see you all next time. Bye.